Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would like to introduce your Shorewood Thunderbirds. Number 0, Heather Campbell. Number 2, Carrie Tanaka. Number 3, Elle Get. Number 4, Shay Myrtle. Number 5, Grace Camilla. Number 6, Jaden Smith. Number 7, Lilia Pate. Number 8, Jasmine Coleman. Number 9, Leah Nottingham. Number 10, Amelia Severn. Number 11, Aaliyah Loden. Number 12, Jill Onberg. Number 16, Kate Grutz. Number 17, Morgan Manalili. Number 18, Caitlin Manalili. Number 13, sorry, I have a different roster. 13, Tegan Ah. Number 14, Carrie Tanaka. No, I got them right here. Number 9, and sorry, I already said you guys. Head coach, Dan Ferris. Assistant coach, Leslie Cox. And for your Meadowdale Mavericks, number 20. Oh, sorry, I am messed up. Number 1, Macy Mork. Number 2, senior, Akayla Moore. Number 3, senior, Lily Caldwell. Number 4, Hazel Maxwell. Number 5, Sarah Wrights. Number 7, Annika Bjornstead. Number 8, senior, Olivia Moore. Number 10, Ella Caldwell. Number 11, Nikki Dallas. Number 12, Rachel Wrights. Number 13, Grace Lunsford. Number 14, Yoselin Espino. 16, Jaden Irons. 17, Ellie Cosbab. 18, Michaela Miller. Number 19, Emmy Keeker. 21, senior, Issa Sandoval. Number 22, Brisene Sanchez Nobles. Head coach, Nicole Brecca. Assistant coach, Paul Wrights. Manager, senior, Brenna Fain. Thank you, referees. Girls, let's get ready.
Good evening and welcome from Edmond Stadium. It is time for some more Wesco soccer action, and we are already underway. The visiting Shorewood Thunderbirds off to a nice running start here down the field. You are watching them in the road white uniforms, white shorts. Coming into this game with a record of 3 wins and 1 loss versus a Meadowdale Mavericks team. Just flip that record there. 1 win and 3 losses, and what a win it was, and we need to give them a nice shout out here in a minute. Meadowdale, a team that going into last Thursday night's match against Cascade had been shut out 7 consecutive matches going back to last year. They scored 5 goals overall in Wesco play last year as a season overall. And what did they do? They went out and scored 5 against Cascade in a 5-1 victory over the Bruins. So,
all right, throw in for your T-Birds.
Playing with a little momentum, feeling good about themselves. And on the other side of the spectrum there, we have Shorewood, a team that went into a matchup last week undefeated, only to suffer their first loss of the season. A 4-1 loss to the Archbishop Murphy Wildcats. So Shorewood trying to get back on the winning side of things, and we might have a shot here right now as here they come down the field. Meadowdale denying them wearing those dark blue home uniforms. We'll get you some names here as we go along. If you were watching the intros a minute ago, we had our microphones down and we tuned into the public address announcer and had her read off all the players. So we'll do that as we go along here too, as well as talk about some fun things throughout the course of the evening. Meadowdale trying to get something going right now. Number 11, Nikki Dallas, one of her first touches of the game, looking to push the ball over to Yossi Espino, I'm sorry. We're going to have a few of those tonight. Bear with us. Ball gets a little bit too far out in front of her. Shorewood possession right now. Thunderbirds, a team that we watched defeat Mount Lake Terrace a week ago tonight, I believe it was, last Tuesday, game that we broadcasted, a 5-0 game there when the Thunderbirds scored 5 goals in the second half to pull away from the Hawks. And we're back again here. Getting our first substitute of the game as Olivia Moore checking in. Number 8, senior midfielder, comes in for Lily Caldwell. Number 3. That's number 17 with the ball right now. You're going to hear that name quite a bit. Actually, there's 2 of them. There's twin sisters, Morgan and Caitlin Monalili, both all-area players last year. Everett Herald first team all-area. For those that don't know, that is a step above all-conference. That means you are considered one of the top 10 or 11 players throughout the entire region, which consists of Wesco, what's now the Emerald City Conference, used to be the Cascade Conference, as well as some of the other private schools that play in other conferences there. So big deal for that. Wesco 4A, Wesco 3A, Wesco 2A. And again, the Monalili sisters' first team last year. Shorewood also returning Shay Myrtle, number 4. She was an all-conference player and I believe second team all-area last year. Meadowdale trying to press a little bit for the first time today, and Shorewood denying that. You can see some of the defenders back there for Shorewood. Grace Camilla, number 5. Got number 7, Lilia Pate. Number 16 also back there. That's Kate Grutz. Looking out there also. Center mid right now. You've got number 4. We already talked about her. That's Shay Myrtle. Dallas trying to get something going. Denied. Shorewood ball. Up front, you've got number 8, Jasmine Coleman. Number 11, Leah Loudon, one of the freshmen on this team. Amelia Severn, number 10, the other freshman, both getting quite a bit of playing time this year. Heather Campbell back in the goal. She's got a couple shutouts already this year, the sophomore. With that, I think we mentioned pretty much everybody on the field right now. For the visiting Shorewood Thunderbirds, we'll try to get to the kick back to the goalkeeper right there. That's Macy Mork, sophomore keeper. Also out there playing on the defensive side of things, Grace Lunsford, another freshman, number 13. Matter of fact, that's her running towards the ball right now. Number 4, Hazel Maxwell, also a freshman, a young team as you can tell. Nice header there by number 5. That's Sarah Reitz. Father Paul is the assistant coach of this team. We already mentioned Nikki Dallas, number 11. We'll talk about her a little bit tonight. I think I've got as many connections to Nikki Dallas as just about any player I've ever covered here in Wesco or in the Snohomish County area in all my years of broadcasting. Emmy Keeker, number 19, also out there for Meadowdale. She's playing on the defensive side of things. Shorewood looking to center the ball. Taken away by Dallas. Mavericks pushing. Pushed a little too far there. Nice job by number 6, Jaden Smith, to step in front of that one. I don't think we've mentioned Jaden yet. Here comes Shorewood once again. 25 yards out. Kicks just goes a little bit too far to the left. Morgan Montalili with the attempted shot near the goal there. Michaela Moore, number 2, also out there playing defense for Meadowdale. She's a senior. Continue to go around here and get you as many names as possible. Ella Caldwell, number 10. She's a freshman. So we've got 2 Caldwell sisters. Mentioned Lily was one of the players subbed out a few moments ago. 5 freshmen suiting up for this Meadowdale Mavericks team. Beautiful night here at Edmond Stadium, albeit a cold one. It's going to even get colder, so stick around for that. It was about 42 degrees or so right around kickoff. Saw an interesting stat the other day on the internet. I think I was looking at a weather blog of some sort. I think now we're on the second half of March now. It's March 16th. I think they said in the last 40 years in Western Washington, in the Seattle area, I think we've had 3 different times in which the low temperature at night after March 15th has gotten below like 35 degrees, and last night was one of those nights. So unseasonably cold here right now, even though we're still technically in the winter months. We're not usually this chilly, so it's going to get even colder. I would imagine we'll probably finish this game off tonight right around high 30s, maybe 40. Nikki Dallas trying to get the ball away from the defender, cannot do so. Nice job by Myrtle to clear it back to Campbell. Almost 9 minutes into the match right now. 0-0 score here from Edmond Stadium. A reminder, due to the pandemic, obviously we normally would play this season in the fall, but we're playing it here in the late winter, and it's a shortened season this year. No postseason play. Only 9 matches all season long, so every game counts as far as the players are concerned. It doesn't count towards postseason, but certainly you notice the wins and losses that much more when there are fewer games, so they certainly want to win these games. Nice takeaway by Meadowdale right there. It's Jaden Irons. We haven't called her name yet, number 16. Got the computer going here tonight too, so we're watching that on YouTube. If anybody has any shout-outs for anybody, feel free to put those in here. Nikki Dallas with a breakaway shot on goal. Campbell steps up. Denied. Here comes Meadowdale once again. Cleared out to the left side there. Nice job by Heather Campbell. Nikki Dallas looked like she was going to have a one-on-one with the keeper, and Campbell steps out of the box. Almost 20 yards out of the goal there to make contact there, to not give Dallas the look that she wanted. Sophomore keeper coming up big there in the 10th minute of the game. Again, a Shorewood team that's had a lot of success over the last few years. And the biggest success, I don't think we mentioned the last broadcast, kind of the oh, by the way moment, which is the biggest moment of them all. We talked about how 2 years ago they made it to the state quarterfinals and made it to the district championship game, which they lost. Made it to the final 8, though, in the state. We talked about how they made it to the district playoffs last year, winning seasons each of the last 2 years. But how about this? Last year, 3A academic state champs. Good for the Thunderbirds. That's a big deal right there. Something that I don't even know that necessarily the players appreciate as much as an accolade that you get on the field, but certainly I'm sure something the parents are proud of, and as these young ladies will get older, they will appreciate it that much more. So Shorewood getting it done in the classroom as well as on the pitch the last couple of years. And again, 3-1 start to this season, outscoring their opponents thus far 27-7. We mentioned Meadowdale with a nice comeback the other day, 5 goals against Cascade. First time in 17 matches, or they had 17 consecutive matches. This goes back to last season. Prior to last week, Meadowdale had 17 consecutive matches in which they had scored 1 goal or less. Had not scored multiple goals in a game, and they busted that in a big way last week against Cascade. Also, by the way, the first time they've scored 5 goals in a game since September 24th, 2013. That was the year that Meadowdale won the district championship. Made it all the way to the state tournament where they lost to Bainbridge there. They also had an 8-goal game that season. So back in 2013, Meadowdale putting up big numbers. And here we go, a breakaway here for Shorewood. Right to left. Nice stop by Mork. Macy Mork steps up there as Loudon had a nice look, the freshman. And she certainly knows what to do with that ball. That's not exactly somebody you want to have a free look for there. And Loudon put up a nice shot. Mork right there to block it. So both goalkeepers coming up big here in the first 12 and a half minutes of play. Still looking for our first score of the match. Meadowdale, a much improved team from last year right now. We appreciate everybody watching right now. Oh, I'm already getting... Okay, well, Heather Campbell apparently, and why did I think that might be Mom correcting me there. I keep thinking Heather Campbell's a sophomore, and she is, in fact, a senior. So, Laura, if that's in fact Mom, thank you for the correction there. So, Heather Campbell, the senior, coming up with a nice stop earlier. And she's having a very nice season thus far. 2 clean sheets in the first 4 matches. And that ball's going to sail out of bounds. Meadowdale ready for the throw-in.
Leaving the game for your Mavericks, number 14, Jocelyn Espino. Coming in, number 19, Emmy Keeper.
So Yessa Espino checking out of the game. A little bit of confusion there momentarily. Meadowdale with a breakaway. Meadowdale with an open look at the goal. Just wide left. So close. Ella Caldwell had a free look there. A little bit of an angle shot there, though, as she was trying to rush the ball down before it got to the goal line. Campbell came out, couldn't get it. And Caldwell just pushed it just slightly left of the post there. And we almost had our first goal there at the 15-minute mark. Shorewood really coming close to having an error there. 2 different defensive players, each pulling back on that ball initially, thinking the other one had it, and it ended up right in front of a Meadowdale player. I believe that was Michaela Miller, and then the ball ended up in front of Caldwell, just couldn't quite convert it. So Meadowdale getting some looks here early on, the much improved Maverick soccer team here. Coached by Nicole Brecka. Paul Reitz, the assistant coach there. Dan Ferris, the coach of Shorewood. Close play there. Campbell doing a nice job to come out to grab it. Dan Ferris, head coach for Shorewood. Leslie Cox, the assistant coach. And we got some stuff to talk about with regarding Leslie later on. Who, by the way, I have not seen Leslie down on the sideline yet tonight, so perhaps Leslie's watching the broadcast. Stay tuned. We'll see. Meadowdale looking to control the ball, getting it into the middle of the field. Shorewood denying. Ball going back and forth there momentarily. Ball goes out of bounds. Here's a fun random trivia question tonight, and it might pertain to this game in some way, shape, or form. Stay tuned for that. We'll share it here in just a moment. The question is going to be, name the only Air Force base in the United States that is named after a naval officer. Stay tuned for that here in just a moment. We'll tell you how that factors into tonight's game and perhaps somebody who might be out there watching us this evening. Ball goes out of bounds. Kind of one of those stay tuned moments as we pull up a piece of information here. Once again, Meadowdale with the throw, and we're into the 17th minute of the match. Still looking for our first score of the night. Meadowdale versus Shorewood. Ball goes out of bounds. The only Air Force base to be named after a naval officer is the Seymour Johnson Air Force Base in Goldsboro, North Carolina. Now, why would I talk about that during a Meadowdale Shorewood soccer game, you might ask? I'll tell you that because we have a few folks watching in Goldsboro, North Carolina tonight. And unfortunately, I didn't get a first name for one of them, but I did the other one, and that's kind of the key one here. Barbara. Barbara is turning 99 years old today, or tonight. I'm hoping Barbara's still watching. It's a little bit late there right now. It's after 10 o'clock in North Carolina, and perhaps if Barbara's not watching live, she'll watch later. But Barbara is the grandmother of Shorewood assistant coach Leslie Cox. So Barbara, if you are watching from Goldsboro, North Carolina, I just want to take a quick moment to wish you a very happiest of 99th birthdays today. I'm just hoping to get to 50 at this point, and Barbara's already lapped me across the field there. So Barbara, we certainly hope you're having a fantastic birthday. And Leslie, if I think your mom and your grandmother might be watching, we certainly send all the best to them tonight. So I hope there was cake involved, or I don't know what Grandma Barbara's into these days at 99, but got to do something celebratory when it's 99, right? Albeit it's a strange year to have a birthday, I understand, or a little challenging during a pandemic. And unfortunately for those mid-March birthdays, I guess they're going through it for a second time now, right? But nonetheless, a very big deal there. I had to look up some information on Goldsboro while I was doing that earlier. Again, there's Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. Seymour is spelled Seymour. And of course, the slogan for Goldsboro, North Carolina, it is, let's see, be more, do more, see more. So BE space MOR, DO space MOR, and then the word Seymour, which is the name of the Air Force Base. So very clever on their part. Goldsboro High School, also where at one time or another, they had a teacher there by the name of Andy Griffith. Yes, that Andy Griffith, for those of you old enough to remember Mayberry and the Andy Griffith Show, as well as Matlock, perhaps. Oh, that the Seahawks. It's a town of 36,000 people. The Seahawks had 2 Goldsboro natives on their roster as of 3 or 4 years ago. One of them still there, Jaron Reed, playing for the Seahawks. Also, Jimmy Graham from Goldsboro. So the things you learn during an 80-minute match when the ball's going back and forth here, right? I've got more if you want it. Scott Stapp from Creed, lead singer for Creed. Kobe White, point guard for the Chicago Bulls. And Big Daddy V, for those of you that are worldwide Wrestling Federation fans. All from Goldsboro, North Carolina, along with Grandma Barbara. So Grandma Barbara, again, happiest of birthdays to you tonight. Hope you're doing something special, and I hope you're feeling great. Meadowdale with the throw, and we are now at the halfway mark here. Ball getting away there a little bit, stepping up, Mork into the back of the goal. Shorewood Leah Loudon with the goal there. It looked as though the ball was getting pushed back to Mork. Pushed back very slowly. Loudon steps up right at the beginning of the 21st minute, and the freshman puts it into the back of the net. Kind of a ricochet shot there as Mork and Loudon both going for it simultaneously. Loudon getting the better of it. The ball got behind Mork right into the net. And Shorewood's out to a 1-0 lead here, 21 minutes in. Give you guys a little shout out here in a minute. Talking to Rich Pettick and his wife Cindy down below here. We got to point out what they're doing here in just a moment, because this is a big deal, and I think a lot of folks are ready and excited for this. As Meadowdale trying to get back into this game here after giving up the goal a moment ago. Rich Pettick and his wife Cindy are in the process of putting tape on the bleachers, because in case you haven't heard, and if you haven't, where have you been? We're moving to phase 3 now of this pandemic, and phase 3, of course, means we can have fans in the stands again. Spectators are going to be welcome in starting this Thursday. There will be restrictions, of course, and don't have all of the current details in front of me. I can kind of give you the gist of it here, though. It sounds as though, as far as larger stadiums are concerned, they're going to be restricted to 400. We're going to get a check-in real quick here. Bree Sanchez Nobles checks into the game for the first time. Number 22 for Meadowdale. Jaden Irons checks out. Oh, Rich is correct. Okay, 450 people will be allowed here. So, and that's only, I'm having a conversation with him while I'm on the air. This is perfect. And that's for only home attendance only, correct? Okay, there we go. So when the Edmonds School District schools are playing one another, which we've got a game on Friday night, Linwood versus Meadowdale, each school gets to have 225 people in the stands. Now, here's where indoor differs from outdoor. I think indoor, to my knowledge, depending on the size of your building, which I think most of them fall into this category there, as the ball gets pushed back again. Mork stepping out, this time grabbing it with both hands and securing it. Indoor, you can have up to 400 participants. However, and I should say 400 people, your coaches, your athletes, your officials, your personnel that works in the building, they count towards that 400. Ooh, a hard tackle there. They're going to go ahead and let them keep playing there. It's Meadowdale number 8, Moore, knocking one of the Mono Lily sisters to the ground. That was Morgan. She gets right back up. Seems to be okay. So 400 folks allowed to indoor events, including those who are participating. The difference, to my understanding, is that for the outdoor events, 450 spectators. So that will not include your soccer players, your football players, your officials, folks like us up here in the booth who are broadcasting the games, because we'll still be doing the streaming, of course, since we are restricted to how many people can get into these games. As far as whether you can or can't get into the games, that would be something to check with your athletic directors, with your coaches. Don't want people just to start showing up at events and assuming they can just walk right in, because it's not quite there yet, folks. We're getting there slowly, but we're starting to make progress, right? So eventually we will, in due time, doing things safely right now. But again, we're moving into stage 3, and it is, for better or for worse, creating a lot of work for folks like Rich and Cindy Pettick, who are down there right now putting tape down on the bleachers. And it's 2 different types of tape, too. They've got the yellow caution tape down there. They've also got blue tape to signify exactly where the cutoff points are for various pods. So I think four per family to a pod. Is that right, Rich? Rich is below the window here, so I'm asking him. 4 people per pod here at the stadium, yeah. Oh, two. So 2 families can be in the same pod. Okay. It's 6 foot distancing, okay, between the pods. Yeah. Just described that to him a minute ago, so I think we're trying anyway. See, normally we don't do this, but this is vital information. We want to make sure we pass this along to everybody. And Rich and Cindy are both. Do either of you have blisters yet on your fingers, or how are we doing? On their way, Rich says. So plenty of blue tape, plenty of yellow tape. You'll see it when you come to the stadium here if you get a chance to soon. But again, starting to get back towards where we're going to get people back in here. As I look over to our right on the north side of the bleachers here, the fence over there for the parking lot, the corner of the fence, you can actually see the field from there. And we do have a handful of family members standing at the fence right now watching the match. So hopefully by this time next week, if you're watching and you're the home team, and if you're an Edmond School District school, you should be able to get in here, I would think, especially for soccer. Football, I know those crowds tend to be a little bit bigger, so of course, might be a little bit more of a challenge to get on that list and be qualified to where you can actually get in and watch. But again, progress being made. We're hoping to get some people in here starting on Thursday, as soon as Thursday. So big news for everybody here. And of course, phase 3 also means that we're on schedule for the other sports coming up too, as the spring sports season is right around the corner, which I'm very excited for because, well, that's the sports season that lost their year entirely last year. So those are athletes who haven't played in almost 2 years now. So glad to see them get a chance to get back out there. I know everybody else has been inconvenienced and had their season shortened. They didn't have a season at all last year. So sooner than later, we're going to get everybody back in. Hopefully we continue to be safe. We use caution. We can start getting these fans back into the stands. I know a lot of the parents out there are frustrated having to watch us online. And although it's a nice excuse to stay in a warm house, I suppose, right? Ball is kicked out of bounds. Meadowdale with another throw-in coming up. 13 minutes and 10 seconds showing on the clock left in the first half. 1-0 score if you're just tuning in. Aaliyah Loudon, the freshman, with the only goal of the night so far. That was at the 21-minute mark. And I continue to look at my notes here as I know that Dan Ferris reached out to some of his players and let them know that we were looking for some fun tidbits and whatnot. And I got another one for Leslie Cox here in a moment. So again, I don't know. Leslie might even be watching at home. Who knows? I don't see him down on the sideline there. So we already talked about Grandma Barbara, who's turning 99 years old today in Goldsboro, North Carolina. Leslie's girlfriend is also watching today, Laura Hoover. And I don't know how this works. She's an alum of Shorecrest, so got a little bit of a Shoreline district rivalry in the house there. The house divided, so to speak. The Scott rooting for the Thunderbird soccer team, but Laura plays soccer down at Linfield College in McMinnville, Oregon. I already blew my intro. I was going to do a trivia question there. Linfield University. Linfield is here we go again. We're getting another look here from Shorewood. We'll hold on to that Leslie Cox fun fact here for just a moment. Back into the middle of the field. Shorewood looking to get something going here. Pate, right side, gets it over into the middle. Meadowdale denying them once again. That was Severn, number 10, that had the ball there for a moment there for Shorewood. Meadowdale on a little bit of a run down the right side right now. That's number 13, Lunsford, trying to get something going. Kicks it over into the middle. Nice diving stop there by Campbell. Lunsford with the cross, hoping to find Dallas in the middle there, and denied by Campbell. So Linfield University, they have a football team that has had 64 consecutive winning seasons. It's not soccer, but hey, anytime you have any sport, you can say for 64 consecutive years, we've never had a losing season. It's the longest current streak in all of college, so impressive right there. So Laura watching down at Linfield where she plays soccer. And according to my notes here from Coach Dan, so I'm assuming he got this straight from Leslie. Stay tuned for that here in just a moment. Severn, nice dribble there. Centers it into the middle. Mona Lily. Over to Goet. Goet with the shot. Goet with the goal. Ayla Goet chips the ball over Mork's head from about 20 yards out into the back of the net. Coming at the 29th minute here of the first half, and we've got a 2-0 score for Shorewood. Ayla Goet, the junior, getting on the board. And of course, when we're doing pandemic broadcasting, the play-by-play announcer is his own scorekeeper as well. So taking a quick little pause there to write everything down. Loudon with the goal at the 21-minute mark. Goet at the 29-minute mark. Actually, we're going to call that the 30-minute mark for Goet. Clock right now showing 9:18 left in the half. Shorewood in search of their 4th win of the year. Severn pushing it up. Left side. Doing a nice job of working the ball around. Pate over to the right. Bundle of players there. And finally, Meadowdale doing a nice job to come away with it. And here they come again. Shorewood looking to cross. Into the middle. Monolily. Shot to the left far post. Just a little bit too far wide. Jasmine Coleman with a nice little nifty move there to get the ball over to Monolily. Had a look there momentarily and just pushed it a little bit too far. Got a goal kick coming up for Meadowdale. Oh, and now I'm being told that I see this is what I love here. We've got these comments coming in on YouTube. There is Laura Campbell letting me know that Coach Leslie should be here soon. He was coaching the JV game over at Kamiak that finished up right around 7 o'clock. And you know what? Lo and behold, I look over there and there's Coach Cox down on the field. So perhaps he was listening when we talked about Grandma Barbara. Who knows? If you're just tuning in, Grandma Barbara, Coach Cox's 99-year-old grandmother from Goldsboro, North Carolina. Getting 1 year within the century mark. We've got a corner kick coming up here for Shorewood. Smith with the corner. Beautiful kick right in front of the goal. Nobody home. Hooks it over everybody's head. Could not get much better than that. Jaden Smith with the huge foot right there. The ball's going to go out. It will be a goal kick. So anyway, I was told earlier, this is straight from Coach Dan. So, that's the quote. So anyway, if you're still listening, Laura Hoover, girlfriend of Leslie Cox. Leslie sends his love to his girlfriend, Laura Hoover. Shot on goal. Once again, that was quick. Coleman with the shot. Mork with the stop. Sends his love to his girlfriend, Laura Hoover, and says that he is sorry for being such a hot mess. Coach Cox to girlfriend Laura Hoover, who's watching the game down tonight in McMinnville, Oregon, home of Linfield University, where she plays soccer. 226 miles away from Edmonds Stadium, in case you're wondering. I know I was earlier. That's why I know that fact right now. And we've got more shout-outs. We're going to keep these coming here throughout the next hour here as we'll be with you. If you're just tuning in again, Shorewood up 2-0. Leah Loudon goal at the 21-minute mark. Isla Goet scoring at the 30-minute mark, and that's where we stand right now. Laura studying abroad for a while in England. Made the Dean's List, so congratulations to her. We talked about Grandma Barbara turning 99. McMinnville is the home, or was the home, rather, of Beverly Cleary. I think we all know Beverly Cleary. We all had to read those Ramona Quimby books or whatever they were back in elementary school. Beverly Cleary, 104 years old, still alive. I think she lives in California now, but nonetheless. Also McMinnville, the home of Spruce Goose, the world's largest propeller-driven seaplane, stored in one of the museums down there. I actually saw the Spruce Goose once back when it was housed in Long Beach, California back in the 90s. It's the propeller plane by the reclusive Howard Hughes back in the mid-20th century. Definitely something to check out if you're in McMinnville, Oregon. It's either that or the campus at Linfield, right? So say hi to Laura Hoover while you're down there and check out the Spruce Goose. Why not? Mark Few, coach of Gonzaga, he went to Linfield for a while before he transferred. He's doing okay for himself there. His Gonzaga Bulldogs men's basketball team, the number 1 seeded team in the nation, heading into the NCAA tournament this weekend. Meadowdale clearing that ball out right back to Shorewood. Defenders waiting back there. 4.5 minutes left on the clock right now. Nice job by Kerry Tanaka to chase that ball down. Get a few more names mentioned here. That's number 12, Jill Anberg. Jill's got family watching tonight. I know that. Jim and Julie, who are always supporting her. Getting a chance to watch the junior out there perform. Nicely done. Pate coming away with the ball. Getting it over to number 10. That's Severin. Nice job by Severin. Nice spin move there. Clears it out into the open. Takes a shot from 25 feet out. Hops it to Mork. Beautiful play there by Severin. Outstanding play there. Did a little 360 and just threw the defense off there for a moment. Smith looking to clear that one out. Ball bouncing around a little bit erratically on the turf. Comes away with it once again. Anberg also back there with her, as is Tanaka. We already mentioned her earlier. Meadowdale looking to push forward. Denied. Shorewood once again crossing the midfield mark. Severin with the ball one more time. Pushes it forward. Monolili shot on goal. Monolili off the top bar. Corner. Had the look. Beautiful shot. That was Morgan Monolili. Could not have get much better than that. Pate, right side, crosses into the middle. Taking a shot on goal. Severin just couldn't quite hook it to the left far enough. This Shorewood team knows how to shoot. Shorewood trying to stay on the offense here. Clock showing 2:12 left. Final 2 minutes of the half will be kept on the field. Monolili waiting, trying to find her spot. Shoots it on goal. Count it! Score! Morgan Monolili. Nice little juke move there. Gets it to where she's got Mork one-on-one and just very patiently pushes it past her to the left into the back of the net. And with under 2 minutes to go here in the half, we now have a Shorewood 3-0 game. Of course, one other shout out we want to give while we're talking right now. Mercy Hobb, certainly wishing you all the best. I'm assuming that Mercy might be watching tonight. We've got those armbands from your teammates out there, everybody showing you love from the team too. Oh, here we go. Nikki Dallas, one-on-one with Campbell, gets by the goalie. Strange angle, pushes it into the middle. Nobody there. Nice cross by Dallas. Just didn't quite have the angle. Needed a little help and was hoping that Lunsford was going to get there in time. And unfortunately, just pushed it a little bit in front before Lunsford could arrive. And that was a very close play there for Meadowdale, almost getting in the goal. So again, Mercy Hobb, if you and your family are watching, we certainly wish you all the best. We know about those armbands that your team is wearing, your community, your school. These players out here all showing a lot of love for you. So best wishes to you. Heather Campbell getting a little more of a challenge tonight than maybe what she's accustomed to. These are some nice players out here. She's done a nice job so far. She wants to give a shout out to her family and thank everybody for watching as well. And of course, as we get to the half, I got to give one more shout out here before we go any further. Coach Dan, he knows that he's got 3 young ladies watching tonight. Bear Cub, Lion Cub, and Tiger Cub watching and supporting. And Coach wants to say hi, as well as Coach Dan's parents. We've got Ann and Dave watching in Sacramento, California. people watching from all over the place tonight. It's great. So we've come to the end of the first half. We're going to take a quick break here on the audio portion of things. Shorewood, in the last 19 minutes of the first half, getting on the board not once, not twice, but 3 times, 3 different goals from 3 different players, and the Thunderbird lead 3-0 as we head into the half. You are watching Hawk TV HBN. And welcome back once again to Edmonds Stadium. Little nighttime soccer here in March, of course, right? Girls soccer. And we are right now looking at the clock as they're just about ready to start again. Shorewood from the Shoreline School District. The Thunderbirds out to a 3-0 lead after one half of play. In case you're just joining us, let's give you a recap of the goals scored. Aaliyah Loudon scoring in the 21st minute. That was followed by Isla Goet. She scored in minute number 30. And then Morgan Monalili in the 38th minute, and that is your scoring thus far. Meadowdale certainly having their looks tonight. Had a few close calls, a few balls that were pushed into the middle and nobody home. Another open shot that just went a little left. And for that matter, Shorewood also, as we saw Monalili also take a shot that went off the crossbar there late in the match. A really nice shot that just had been lowered by about 4 or 5 inches, would have been in the top corner of the goal. So certainly both teams with opportunities to score. Shorewood, the only one converting thus far. And consequently, they are out to the 3-0 lead right now. As Shorewood now back out on the field, ready to play one more time. Meadowdale across the field from us there on the west side. Still gathering, getting ready to come back out and play. Should mention that we've got a doubleheader coming up this Thursday night. Angelo Camo and the crew will be right back at it one more time here. Ben Iman will have the call of the game. It looks as though it's Meadowdale once again. So we're going to have Mount Lake Terrace Edmonds Woodway JV at 5:30. And then the varsity game at 7:30 will be Meadowdale, the same Mavericks team out in front of us here, versus Edmonds Woodway. Again, Meadowdale, Edmonds Woodway right back here. Same time, same channel, Hawk TV, HPN, 2 nights from now at 7:30 p.m. Battle of a couple of local schools here. It's always intense anytime the Mavericks play the Warriors, in any sport for that matter. And Bill Lecomte, he's always got a solid team over there at Edmonds Woodway ready to go. Warriors team that's off to a 2-2 start this year so far. Shot on goal once again. Mork with the stop. Morgan Monalili had a shot there as the ball was crossed right into the middle. Nice stop by Mork. I believe that was Pate with the cross. We want to give a little credit there. So Shorewood already with 3 goals and looking for more there. Now Meadowdale looking to push across midfield. Sonia Dallas, number 11 out there. I just called her by her mom's name. Figured that might happen one time there. Nikki Dallas. Nikki's parents, Sonia Frankenberg, or was Frankenberg, her maiden name, and Jim Dallas, both outstanding athletes at Mount Lake Terrace High School back in the day. Nikki's uncle Greg Dallas, a classmate of mine from the time we were in kindergarten through 8th grade, so I know the Dallas family fairly well. Nikki, one of the only, if not maybe her and her brother Carson, whose baseball and basketball games I've called in the past when he was at Mount Lake Terrace. The Dallas kids might be the only athletes from Snohomish County that I have broadcasted sports for, whom I can say that once upon a time I knew both sets of their grandparents. So Carla Frankenberg, grandma, worked for many years at Mount Lake Terrace Elementary. And I have a feeling grandma might be watching this tonight. So Carla, if you're out there, enjoying watching your granddaughter play, and enjoying messing up and calling her by her mom's name too. Nikki, also a member of that Meadowdale basketball team that's been so outstanding over the last couple of years. Ari Mahler and his team. Matter of fact, Nicole Bretka, the girls soccer coach here, she was also an assistant coach on that Mavs team, a team that's made it to the regionals each of the last 2 years. That heartbreaking loss 2 years ago to West Seattle by 1 point, 1 point away from going to the Tacoma Dome. Nice shot there. Nice ball put right into the middle of the field. Swarmed by the Mavericks. Dallas steps up to clear it away. Ball bounces around. Dark blue a few different times there. And that Mavericks basketball team, a lot of fun to watch. All the names we've come to know. There's Stark, Swinton, Williams, of course, Fatu Jete, senior this year. Hopefully we'll see her playing here in a little while. Shorewood race to the ball. A couple of number 3 jerseys there. Last touch. Let's see what they say here. It looked as though it might have been last touch by the Thunderbirds. That was Lily Caldwell, number 3 for Meadowdale. And Goet, number 3 for Shorewood, trying to chase that one down. Yeah, interesting to look over at some of the standings here for Wesco. Again, nothing really matters in the sense that we're not going to be crowning a district champion per se. And for all intents and purposes, there really isn't a Wesco 3A and Wesco 4A this year. Although we're seeing more 3A schools on the south end of Snohomish County and as well as the shoreline area here. These teams are almost potted to where they seem to be playing each other more often than not. But really, for the rest of Wesco, doesn't really matter as much this year if you're a 3A or 4A team. They've been doing some things to try to work with some competitive balance for various sports, also trying to keep travel down to a minimum. And just looking over at the standings, again, for what it's worth, going into tonight, Archbishop Murphy and Snohomish, each 4-0 on the season. So Mike Bartley, coach of Archbishop, and of course they defeated Shorewood the other day. Shorewood's only loss. Mono Lily pushing it towards the middle. Ball cleared out. Nicely done. That was Ella Caldwell kicking it out. April Van Asche from Snohomish, also another solid Panther squad. She always has good teams up there. Shorewood looking to push again. Nicely done by the Mavs. Mavs looking to push. Don't exactly have numbers, but they've got the ball out into space, and we're going to get an offsides call. Was waiting for that flag to go up. Knew that one was a little too good to be true. Is trying to get the number there. There we go. Number 13. That's Lunsford. Getting a good 5 or 6 yards behind the defenders there when that ball was pushed forward. That will give Shorewood the kick there at their own 40-yard line there. 34 minutes to go. Looking at other teams, obviously Shorewood 3-1 as well. Oh, Jackson, forgot Jackson. 3 wins and 1 tie this year. It's a Jackson team that's been very solid the last few years. I think they won that by-district championship, was it a year ago, 2 years ago? Lake Stevens 3-1, Cedar Crest 3-1, as well as Everett. And Glacier Peak 2-1-1. And a couple of local teams 2-2 that are playing each other as we speak. 2 schools that these two know fairly well, Mount Lake Terrace and Shorecrest. They're doing battle right now over at Shoreline Stadium. Also point out we've got a few other we already mentioned Thursday's game. We got a few more broadcasts coming up. So again, this coming Thursday, Mount Lake Terrace versus Edmonds Woodway JV at 5:30, followed by a 7:30 varsity match, Meadowdale Edmonds Woodway. Meadowdale with the kick there. Next Tuesday, a week from tonight, we're going to have Archbishop Murphy versus Mount Lake Terrace. We already talked about that Murphy squad that's undefeated right now. Shorewood trying to get goal number 4, crossing it into the middle. A little too far out in front of Pate. Meadowdale clearing that one there. And then on Thursday, the 25th, our last set of games that we're scheduled to broadcast as of right now, a JV match that night, Kamiak versus Mount Lake Terrace. That's JV again. And then finally, varsity, Meadowdale versus Mount Lake Terrace. So we've got Meadowdale here each of the next 2 Thursday nights, their varsity squad. And then if you're a Meadowdale fan, or a Shorewood for that matter, we're going to be broadcasting your football games this weekend. Friday night, 5 p.m., Shorewood Thunderbirds versus the Edmonds Woodway Warriors. We've got the early game, and then that's followed by the 8 p.m. game. Meadowdale looking to bounce back after that tough loss to Archbishop Murphy last week. They'll be taking on Linwood, a Royals team that looks much improved. after they beat up on, Thunderbirds, beat up on Shorewood last Friday night, 41-14. So a good game there. So again, football action Friday, more soccer on Thursday. Happy to bring it to you right here on Hawk TV HPN. Whistle blows there. We've got 31 minutes left in the match, still 3-0. Shorewood scoring all three of their goals in the opening half. Shorewood crossing that ball out of bounds. Goal kick coming up. I blew my golden opportunity earlier. I had a little nice note here for Aaliyah Loud, and I should have mentioned this when she scored in that 21st minute, but Jaden Smith about ready to take the corner kick. Aaliyah wanted to give a shout out to Sister Maddie, who's watching, as well as grandparents and cousins who are up late tonight in Florida. We've got the Florida crew watching right now, watching the freshman do big things, watching her score a goal earlier. Perhaps she'll get another one here in a moment. Ball bounces around, cleared out by Meadowdale. It's not too late there, right? Just a little before 11 o'clock. They might be up. I'm not sure what part of Florida they're watching from, but certainly hope they're having a good time. Aaliyah doing some big things here. Got to watch her score a goal in the last broadcast we had as well. Smith with the free kick. About 33 yards out from the goal here. Let's see if she takes a shot right at the goal. Mork getting ready for anything here. Big shot on goal up high, just over the bar. Hits that back net that's restraining the ball from getting away there. So Mork will have a goal kick coming up here in just a moment. Now down under 30 minutes to go here in the match. 29:35 showing on the clock. Number 19, Keegan Awe checking in for Shorewood. Loudon checking out. So we might have gotten the Florida folks mentioned just in time, although I have a feeling we'll see Aaliyah play here again shortly. Speaking of Awe, that was her with the ball right there. I want to give a shout out to a few other folks up here helping us tonight. Marilyn Aubert, Mount Lake Terrace High School student, flipping the boards there, switching between cameras, running the show. This is a student-run operation here, so appreciate the work there. Only a sophomore, too. I didn't realize that. So ball bouncing around in the front there. Severn trying to do something with it. Corner kick as it bounces off of a Meadowdale leg. Also, our camera crew tonight, a couple of Meadowdale parents helping us out. Mark Caldwell, he's here for two reasons. He's got daughters on the team. Two different players there, so Mark helping us out, as well as Ian Mork. You mentioned daughter Macy a couple times there. She's the one wearing that red jersey in the goal right now. Having a good night, too. This is not a Shorewood team that's easy to stop. Ball in front of the goal. Bounces around. Severn trying to do something with it. Nicely done there. That's, speaking of Caldwell right there, Lily Caldwell, number 3, hitting the turf hard. Nice stop on her part. We hope she's okay there. She gets up, shakes it off a little bit. Got to give a shout out to some of the folks behind the scenes who are having a very hectic and busy week. Is again the Phase 3 announcement coming down from the governor last week. So I know that the Wesco athletic directors meeting on Monday morning to try to figure out what their plan was moving forward. Of course, Don Dalzell, the Shoreline athletic director, is the president of the Wesco conference. So I'm sure it's been a busy week for him, as well as the athletic directors at the schools. Ran into Beth Marriott on my way in here, the athletic director for athletic coordinator at Meadowdale High School, and she mentioned they've been extremely busy this week. Joanne Fukuma from Shorewood. And like I said, to all the athletic directors in general, I know there's a lot going on right now, a lot of moving parts. obviously trying to adhere to protocol and be in compliance with everything that's going on right now, getting not only your stadiums ready, but your gyms as fans get ready to return for various sports right now. Football here is a challenge, but we've got volleyball coming up. In fact, these two schools are doing battle right now over at Shorewood High School. Volleyball starting on Thursday. The fans can come to those games as well. And again, we advise everybody, check with your coaches, check with your coaches. I was going to say athletic directors. They've got enough on their plates. Your coaches have been instructed as to how that's going to work. So obviously, like I said earlier, football is going to be a bigger challenge just because of the sheer numbers and the attendance that generally come out to those games. Soccer, probably not as much. Again, they're going to be restricted to 450 people in the stands. Don't know that I've ever been to a soccer game yet that wasn't a playoff game that I've ever seen 450. So I think that should be probably safe there for those of you listening out here. But again, check with your coaches. If you're a Shorewood fan, talk to Coach Ferris. I know Shorewood's got a lot of games coming up at their stadium. Talk to Coach Brecka. They'll get you all the instructions and everything you need there moving forward. Shorewood controlling the ball, their side of the field. 3-goal lead, 25 minutes to go. Ella Caldwell coming up with that one for a moment. Right back over to Shorewood. Lilia Pate. We got to mention Lilia's family here in a moment as well. As the ball slowed down here momentarily. Severn. Like those pink shoes that Pate has. She's an easy one for me to spot out there because we're way up here in the booth. It's not always easy. I see the pink shoes. I know it's number 7. Lilia Pate, by the way, her dad, I was asked, Coach Ferris wanted me to give a shout out. Dad Aaron is the sushi chef at Shiro's Sushi in downtown Seattle. That's in Belltown. It's on 2nd and Battery. It's a restaurant that's had their doors closed since the pandemic started. However, starting on next Wednesday, March 22nd, they'll be open to 50% capacity. So Shiro's Sushi, if you're downtown, or even if you're not, Belltown's not that bad. You can get there. Plenty of parking in the Belltown area. Get on down, support these restaurants, of course. We've been saying this for a year now, but a lot of those folks struggling without having anybody in the restaurants. Obviously, a lot of takeout, but it's still not the same as having people actually come in and sit down and eat, and a lot of revenue lost there. So nice little shout out to Shiro's Sushi in downtown Seattle and Mr. Pate and the crew there. We hope that you guys are able to get the doors back open and get everybody up and running and get everybody fed and make some money, right? That's what it's all about. So shout out to Lilia, Dad Aaron, and the rest of the family there. Hey, if we're missing anybody here, we've got some time, 23 minutes to go. Put a comment on the YouTube page if you're watching. If you're a social media person, you can tweet at me at Steve Willits. That's all one word, STEVEWILLITS. "23 minutes showing left on the clock. Almost 17 minutes into the second half here. No score in this half. Again, Shorewood getting 3 goals all in the first half of play. Leah Loudon, Isla Goet, and Morgan Monolili. Good to have sports back. Every once in a while, I just have to remind myself as we're sitting up here watching that this is something that we missed for the last 12 months. And see these young athletes out here participating, getting a chance to have their senior years for those in the class of 2021 and others. Of course, it's not just at the high school level. College, we're actually seeing tournaments now. NCAA championships this past week. The basketball tournament's coming up. In fact, one cool little nugget here I'll throw at you. It was following this online yesterday. And Shorewood looks to clear that one out. Meadowdale trying to take advantage of it. Can't. Myrtle getting knocked to the ground. Whistle blows. Ella Caldwell and Myrtle both playing physical soccer there. Myrtle's going to clear back to the goalkeeper as Campbell gets her foot on it one more time. NCAA cross-country championships taking place. I believe it was it yesterday or the day before? Interesting little side note there. Taylor Rowe, who runs for Oklahoma State, graduate of Lake Stevens High School. Here comes Shorewood once again on the run. Right side, clearing it into the middle. Ball is cleared out there. Nice job by number 4, Hazel Maxwell, getting a foot on it, kicking it out. Taylor Rowe, graduate of Lake Stevens High School. She is attending Oklahoma State University. Mono Lily's going to take a seat on the bench here for a little bit as Shorewood doing a substitution. Leah Nottingham, sophomore, coming into the game. Severn, shot on goal, wide. Nice job by Mort. Got a hand on it. We're going to get a corner kick coming up from the left side. Rowe is a graduate of Lake Stevens High School. Her father, T.T. Rowe, graduated from Mount Lake Terrace and actually played on the same high school basketball team with Nikki Dallas's father. She is second in the nation as a sophomore at the NCAA National Championships the other day. Getting it done, representing Wesco, representing the Edmonds School District for that matter. TT was quite the runner back in his time. He was a state champion while at Mount Lake Terrace back in the 80s. And Taylor losing out to a runner from the University of Alabama. Alabama seems to be good at everything. Crimson Tide, I guess, not getting it done in just about every sport. Shot on goal, hops right into the hands of Mork. Nicely done, picks it up. We're under 20 minutes to go now. It's Kate Grutz, number 16, that had the shot. Got quite a bit on it, just didn't quite take the hop she wanted it to. Meadowdale pushing ahead. We're going to get another offsides called once again. Caldwell just sneaking right in behind the defenders there one more time. Closer play than that last one. The first one was a really easy call. She was a good 6 or 7 yards behind everybody. This time we'll call it 1 or 2. And Jasmine Coleman's going to check back in. We're in the number 8. Coming in for Tegan Awe. So if this stands, Shorewood will be looking at their 4th win of the year in 5 matches. So we are now just past the halfway mark. All spring sports. It's what happens during the pandemic. All fall sports, if you will, played in the winter and spring. Severn, double team, gets by a couple of defenders. Crosses it into the middle, back to Severn, over to there on the left side. Oh, almost. Beautiful shot on goal there. Just sailed it a little bit to the right. Goet looking for her 2nd goal of the night. Had the right idea, just missed it by about a foot or 2. Football season ending on Thursday, April 1st. The other sports, I believe, are all ending on the 29th, which is a Monday. So by April 1st, we will be done with the fall sports season and getting ready to move on to the spring season. Of course, your spring sports coming up. You have baseball, softball, girls tennis, boys soccer, boys and girls track and field, boys and girls golf. Nice move there by Dallas. Gets by a defender. Working the ball around there a little bit. Ball goes over the head of everybody and into the hands of the waiting Heather Campbell. Get another substitution right now. Looks as though Olivia Moore checking back in, number 8 for Meadowdale on the defensive side of things. Lily Caldwell making her way to the bench. 16:56 to go here. Shorewood holding on to that 3-0 lead. It's been the score ever since the 38th minute. Campbell patiently waits for that ball to bounce back to her. Tosses it out to the left side there, and Shorewood maybe perhaps looking for another run here. Go it, left sideline. Nice pass there. Severn, beautiful pass. A little bit of a bicycle kick without the flip. And Meadowdale very wisely kicking that one out of bounds. Ella Caldwell on the defense. Well, here we go. We've got Amelia Severn's grandparents are watching the game from Wisconsin tonight. Just saw that pop up on the screen there. Getting that from Linda Terwilliger. She says, watching from, you don't want to say that here on this, up in the Pacific Northwest, says they're watching from Green Bay Packer land. And I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Wausau, Wisconsin. We'll let that one slide tonight. Here we go. Meadowdale looking to push again. Severn, a very impressive freshman. Between her and Loudon, the future is bright for Shorewood right there. Those two are going to create a lot of problems for many Wesco opponents here over the next 3 years. So, Linda, we're happy to have you all watching tonight. Thanks for checking in with us. And we're about to get another substitution, and this is Charlotte Philbrick. Charlotte getting called up to play tonight. She's normally on the junior varsity team, so she's going to get some action there as Carrie Tanaka checks out. Doesn't feel like we've called Tanaka's name as much as we did last week, and I think that's just because we haven't needed to. She's just playing a solid defense tonight. Nothing really happening on her end of the field, shutting everything down there, and so she had a solid outing this evening, and Philbrick, number 22, gets a chance to play a little bit now. Under 15 minutes to go. Shorewood looking for their third shutout of the year. Speaking of Severn, there she is right there. Trying to get by a couple of defenders. Still has the ball. Finally works it back. It's Nottingham, number 9. To center that ball. Can't quite get it there. Nice job by the defender there. It's number 4 for Meadowdale, Maxwell. So we did this right before the half, so I'm going to give another shout out just to make sure that nobody took a break at halftime and missed it here. Coach Dan also making sure that we have a few shout outs tonight. We've talked about Wisconsin. We've talked about Florida. We've got North Carolina. We've got Dan's parents watching in Sacramento, California tonight. That would be Ann and Dave. So proud of Coach Ferris there, as he looks like he's about to lead his team to a 4th win. And then, of course, another hello to Dan's daughters, Bear Cub, Lion Cub, and Tiger Cub, watching and supporting back at home. So hope the Cubs are doing okay and enjoying what Dad's team's doing out here. Shot on goal. Stopped by Campbell one more time. Rachel Reach getting the shot on there. Coleman getting out in front of that ball. Mork doing a nice job of coming out of goal, grabbing that one. Once again, we're showing 12:43 left on the clock right now. Starting to look a little bit ahead here. Again, 9-game season. Both of these teams playing in their 5th match of the year tonight. I mentioned we're going to have Meadowdale on the broadcast here each of the next 2 Thursdays. Starting this Thursday, big match coming against Edmonds Woodway. That will be right here at Edmonds Stadium. So again, moms, dads, guardians, come on out, watch the game. And we're also being charged that this now it differs from school district to school district, so I can't speak for the Shoreline School District. But Rich Pettick just informing me that the Edmonds School District decided they're not going to charge anybody to get in. So again, we do have a limit for soccer. I don't think we're going to reach that limit. So check with your coaches. Make sure you let them know you'd like to attend the game this Thursday night. Meadowdale versus Edmonds Woodway, 7:30 start time. There's going to be a gated entrance where they're going to be checking off names. You enter the stadium on one side of the building. You exit on the other. Again, certain protocols in place there to keep everybody safe. We are still in the middle of a pandemic after all. Upcoming Meadowdale games after the Edmonds Woodway game. They're going to be at Cedar Crest in Duval a week from tonight. It's a 7 o'clock start time. Then Thursday the 25th, they're right back here at Edmonds Stadium again against Mount Lake Terrace. And then they wrap up their season on Monday the 29th at Kamiak High School. Nice hustle there for Meadowdale. Couldn't quite get to the ball in time. Emmy Keeker, the freshman, trying to get after that one. Campbell coming over to cut that off. Shorewood making another push there. Be sure each and every night, or usually late at night, early in the morning on myedmondsnews.com, we've been providing all of the Meadowdale scores as well as other scores for the Edmonds School District, including goals scored. So be sure to follow your Mavs if you're not able to watch a game. Obviously, a lot of these games are online. Everybody's trying some form of live streaming right now. So continue watching, continue following.
Subbing out for our Mavericks, number 10, Ella Caldwell. Subbing in for the Thunderbirds, number 11, Aaliyah Loudon.
Yeah, Leah Loudon checking back in for the Thunderbirds there. She's going to come in for number 6, Jaden Smith. We heard that Ella Caldwell was also checking back in there. Under the 10-minute mark now. Shorewood, again, looking to go 4-1 on the season. They're going to take on Cascade this Thursday. That's at Shoreline Stadium. Nice shot on goal. Stopped by Mork. The following week, and actually, now that I look at it here, all 4 upcoming games for Shorewood, 4 games remaining on the schedule, all 4 played at Shoreline Stadium. So again, check with your coach if you want to try to get out to one of those matches. I'm not sure exactly what the procedure is for Shoreline Stadium, if in fact they're going to require a name put on a list and your name will be at the credential gate or not. But again, Coach Ferris should have all that information here over the next few days. But again, 4 remaining matches, all played at Shoreline Stadium. Cascade this Thursday. A week from tonight, you've got Kamiak. Then Thursday the 25th, Shorecrest, always a big one there. And then finally, you end your season Monday night, March 29th, against Linwood. Still waiting to see if we're going to have any goals scored this half. We're down to the final 8.5 minutes of play. Loudon doing a nice job of controlling the ball. Gotta give a nice little shout out there, too. We've got another player that didn't see check into the game, but also getting her first varsity action, at least tonight. Player who normally plays for the junior varsity team. That's number 20, Marika Staley. She's playing a little midfield there. She had her chance with the ball there just a moment ago. And of course, I just realized we got this far into the match. I haven't even mentioned the officials yet tonight. We've got to give them a little shout out. Emily Zimmerman, Peter Strong, and Maury Hansen. I was giving them a hard time saying that we were going to give them shout outs when they make good calls, of course. As Tegan Aud checks back in, number 19. Kate Grutz checking out. Nice job from her tonight. Peter Strong, one of the officials there. Went out in the middle of the field. He mentioned that wife Jordan might be watching. So, Jordan, if you're watching, I don't know if this is a good way to critique your husband's work or not. So, hopefully, you've had a chance to watch a little bit tonight. Seems like it's been a clean match thus far. Can't complain there from our end anyway. We always appreciate all the officials, no matter what sport you're participating in. It can often be a thankless job, not an easy job. And sometimes you get judged more than you get gratitude as Shorewood kicks the ball out of bounds there. I think that was Smith that was number 4 that did a nice job of stopping that one. It's Myrtle. And we're going to get a Meadowdale corner kick coming up, 6.5 minutes to go. Nikki Dallas on one more time to kick the corner. Centered, kicked out of bounds. Nice job by Shorewood. Trying to keep that clean sheet going here tonight. Shot from Lunsford there. There we go. I finally checked my Twitter handle for the first time in a while. Elise Goet watching. Happy that I got her sister's name right tonight. So thanks, Elise. Appreciate that. Doing what we can there. And you got to watch your sister put a goal into the net. And she says, by the way, tell my sister that I love her. So there we go. Isla Goet, number 3, scoring the second goal of the night. And Elise is watching from home, or at least she was anyway. We hope she's still watching. We need to see if we get the shutout here. There we go. Another run from Shorewood, right side. Nice job by both offensive and defensive player.
Nice defense by number 4, Maxwell.
It's Maxwell on the defense there.
Corner for your Thunderbirds. Number 4, Sherry Myrtle.
That was Severin on the run down the right side. Of course, as far away as you can get from us as possible on the far side of the field, on the southernmost part of the field. So sometimes the numbers are a little harder for us to get to here. 4:21 showing on the clock right now. Shorewood looking for perhaps another goal here to really put this in away. Nice job by Smith. Goes all the way across the goal. Meadowdale going to let that one roll out of bounds. Smart move there by Ella Caldwell, the freshman. Under the 4-minute mark. Give a shout out to the Meadowdale tennis team today, picking up a victory. Just saw that score come across here a little while ago. Nice cross there by Goet. Elsie, if she's watching, she likes to see that. Out of bounds. Are we going to get a corner kick? Actually, we're going to get a goal kick there. Severn chasing the ball down, getting it back over to Mork. 3:08 showing on the clock. Shorewood that much closer to another clean sheet and another victory tonight. And if you're Meadowdale, a lot to be proud of here. This is a Meadowdale team that really struggled last year. It's probably a little bit of an understatement. You can see improvement from them. A lot of quality players out here, young players. Speaking of young players, shot on goal. Oh, we've got another goal. I couldn't tell if that one went wide or not. Goal, Shorewood. Jasmine Coleman, the sophomore, says, I need to get in on some of this, and she finally puts one away. 77th minute of the match. 4th goal of the night for Shorewood. First goal here in the second half. Ball kind of bounced around a little bit awkwardly at first, so I couldn't tell if it was in the goal or just a little bit over to the right of it there. And finally, we get confirmation there. So Jasmine Coleman getting on the board tonight. Spreading the goal love around here is 4 different players with 4 goals. Yeah, a much improved Meadowdale team, a young team, looking to do some big things. And of course, Shorewood, they're going to be good for a while here too. Speaking of which, Carrie Tanaka checks back in. She's only a sophomore. Mount Lily sisters, both juniors. Only 4 seniors on the Shorewood squad. Campbell, Martle, Camilla, and Pate. Clock is now being kept out on the field. We're estimating there to be about a minute left. Good night for soccer, too. Again, a little bit of a crisp night. Not exactly a warm one, but no rain, which is always a positive. And that may not be the case when these two teams step out for their next match on Thursday. Rain in the forecast once again. So anytime you can get a March soccer match in the Pacific Northwest and stay rain-free, you'll always take that. Tanaka getting a nice push ahead. Gets it to Coleman. Flag goes up. We're going to get an offsides call there. Coleman had visions of perhaps a second goal in the last few minutes of the match. Now we're just waiting for that final whistle here. It should be coming any time now. So again, we appreciate everybody watching tonight. And really, if you are a parent out there, we wish and hope for all the best here moving forward. It sounds like you're getting that much closer to perhaps watching your daughters play sooner than later, and certainly enjoy every moment of that. I know that's exactly what everybody's been waiting for. Hopefully we've been able to provide a service to where at least we can give you what we have here. And like I said, doing so in a manner in which you can stay dry at home, which is nice. Nikki Dallas with a shot on goal. Count it! Nikki Dallas, 25 yards out. I think that surprised Campbell there. I think we were all waiting for that final whistle, and Dallas just thunders one from 25 yards out. Top left corner. Nikki gets Meadowdale on the board. Meadowdale now with 6 goals this year. They've already matched last year's total. So see, we were talking about progress. And there's the whistle. So Meadowdale does avoid the shutout there. Nonetheless, Heather Campbell, an outstanding job from her tonight. She had a few tough saves to make at various times in the game. Bottom line, Shorewood picks up the win. 4-1 is our final. Shorewood coming over here celebrating. Speaking of 4-1 and 1-4, that's what these two teams' records are now, so it's only fitting, right? So Shorewood moves to 4-1 on the year. Meadowdale moves to 1-4. And I guess this is the time where I turn around and look at the camera. Is that right? So we continue to look. Both teams cheering each other on out there. There we are. We're on, right? Excellent. So again, 4-1 final score tonight. We appreciate you watching. Don't forget, this coming Thursday, another doubleheader of soccer starting at 5:30. And then we've got a doubleheader of football on Friday night, 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Plenty going on here. We're going to keep bringing you these broadcasts again. I know you can start to trickle back into the arenas, trickle back into the stadiums, watch in person. But if you can't make it, or if you're in Wisconsin, or if you're in North Carolina, Florida, California, do we have Las Vegas watching too? Angelo Camo just threw it to Las Vegas there. So wherever you're at, if you can't make it to the stadium, we've got sports to cover this week and plenty of it. So again, keep tuning in, keep coming back to Hawk TV, HPN, and watching. And thank you for watching tonight. Your final score one more time: Shorewood 4, Meadowdale 1. For Angelo Camo, the rest of the crew, I'm Steve Willits. Thank you for watching. Have a great evening.